doing? Is this going to load or not? Are we loading up? Come on. Well, it looks like YouTube is live, but Facebook is absolutely not loading. So let me retry this, guys. Give me just a moment here. Sorry about the delay. I'm trying to get Facebook to load. It's bugging out on me. I should have let it completely load and then hit the load button on YouTube. That's a bit of a problem for me sometimes. When I double stream, a lot of times, if the Facebook won't load if the YouTube is trying to load still. So let me get it up and going. I think it should be good now. Let's try it. Come on, Facebook. Got a double dip here. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual, and waking up with everyone here. This is much later than I normally do a coffee chat. I slept in a little later, had a extra long consultation call last night. It was well worth the money, though. All right. Good morning, Coach, in the office, but thought I'd hop on for a bit, like has been smashed already. Appreciate it, David. Appreciate it. Connor actually hit me up on Facebook going, "You going live or not, man?" But yeah, we're definitely here. Like I said, slept in a little bit later, mainly because I had a long consultation. But keep in mind, when you do longer consultations, like it wasn't just 1 hour. So it's financially worth it, So even if my work day gets started later, I'm going to make more money from consultations than I'm going to make from social media. So not a big deal. But I'm here waking up with you guys. Got to get all my posts up and going. I got to get some memes up on the Facebook and wake up with you beautiful people here. So I'm going to be back and forth for just a minute while we get some of that loaded up. But yeah. Well, I keep trying to hit that goal, that one bonus goal on Facebook. Kind of miffed though. I had 7 days to get my one on my page, my fitness page, right? Check this out. I failed to get the one this last week. It ran up last night. I thought I would get it within the first 2 days because it wanted me to have 3 posts. It got really massive reach. I got 2 of them in the first 24 hours, and I never got the third one. I had like 8 posts that made it almost there, like at least 50%. So I didn't get that bonus, and I was just like really shocked. So I'm going to work on getting the larger bonus on the profile for the month. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe. But give me just a minute here, guys, and I'll get over to everybody's questions and comments. And I have a feeling because people have been waiting on the coffee chat, there'll probably be a lot of people in pretty quick. All right. But no, it ended up being a very lucrative day yesterday by doing consults. That's the thing, man. As someone who runs their own business, does coaching and consultations, I have to work around the clock sometimes. Sometimes there's last minute warning, and I'm way up past the normal bedtime to make money. The nature of the game. The nature of the game. All right, almost done here. And I'll tap back over to you guys. All right. Been no other posts, just David. So not a big deal. But likes are coming in, so I know people are definitely views are in. Oh man. So how's everybody doing this morning? It's going to be training day. I think I'm going to deadlift today. Squat, bench, and deadlift. I might do a set of extensions. I feel like for me, the only thing holding me back, so that 225 bench, I'm trying to get to 20. I got 19, right? And my chest and triceps hurt. I had pretty serious bounds in both. I noticed I had both sore yesterday. You know, right? And ended up being really sore this morning or yesterday. But I could tell when I'm doing those top sets with the bench, right? And my triceps are giving out at the end. Because on the 19th rep, the 2 times I've hit 19 reps so far, the 2 times I've done it, I can barely lock it. Like so what happened on Monday, David? You get the teddies. Oh, the teddies get lit up, but I can tell the triceps are really, really tired. My triceps are giving out. I'm noticing on the lockout on that really high rep set. So on Monday, for example, when I was doing it and I got to rep 15, I said in my head, I've got 20. I'm going to get 20. Like, I bet I get 20. And when I got to rep 19, I almost couldn't lock it. So I got to the very end of my triceps, like right here. Now you're almost to here. My triceps just started giving out. Like, I could tell that my elbows did not want to finish. They didn't want to follow through. My triceps were just like, no. So I do think maybe one set of extensions wouldn't be bad. After all the lifting experience or anything you wish, none of my experience would involve lifting, going back and telling myself. I've already done this. I feel like I have to do this every single day. All of my greatest life mistakes have been on the internet. Right? I mean, the only thing I would say is don't do 2 a days, don't do 1 stroll. I mean, because I tore my bicep. That's been the only big deal there. So not really. I wouldn't change a lot of that because all that experience made me kind of who I am in terms of a coach. My biggest life regrets both involve the internet. And I've already said that yesterday. I would take back the fake. I wouldn't have done the fake Merc thing. That was probably my number one mistake in my entire life. I can say that without any hesitation. That was my greatest life mistake in my entire life. Like nothing else even close. One other thing I would change that was the morally right thing to do, but cost me too much, was calling out Lane Norton's research on branched chain amino acids. Like the price was too high for that. The price I paid in real life for that was not worth saving people money and stuff. Like it wasn't worth it to me. It was too heavy. Right. So those are the 2 things I would change in my life. As far as the training goes, I mean, I don't know that I would. Because I wouldn't have the knowledge and experience and learn from mistakes. But the others are easy. So when I change anything in my life, there were 2 things I did on YouTube I would totally change. And I do mean that. Like I wouldn't go back and change other things that I did compared to those offline. Hopefully that's a fair answer. People never get the answers they want with that because usually when people ask that question, they don't actually mean me personally or going back in time. They just want me to give them advice, and I'm like, so why don't you just ask me the advice? I think, like you said yesterday, you'd have well over 1 million subs. Had I did those 2 things different, David, I would easily have 1 million followers at this point. There's nothing to be learned from some of those mistakes. I mean, in fact, you don't want to learn from the first one. So the only lesson to take from um, the one of them with the research, the mistake, the only way to learn from that mistake would be don't call out people for wrongdoing who have resources. People who are vengeful and have resources and money and connections, leave them alone. Let them do whatever they want. Let them scam whoever they want. Get out of their way. That would be and I'm not sure that's a good life lesson to take. You know what I mean? We sure that's really a valuable lesson. It's not a good moral lesson. Um, you know, no, I'm not interested. Like Mo, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Anyone who's really cares enough to go read all that, I'm gonna say this as politely as possible. Should probably go talk to a therapist. I mean, I get that people are concerned and one person did a story on it, and even I've discussed that. But to actually take the time to go read it, you probably need psychiatric help. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, as someone who deals with stupidity, to have that level of obsession over a YouTuber that they feel the need to actually go read the PhD now, you need mental help. You're no different than my cookie stalkers at that point. So I have better things to do with my time, bros. Um, I mean, damn. I mean, at least me, I could make money out of reading it and talking about it. No, I didn't say that you did. But what I mean is the people who care. Like, do you really care that much? Is that important to you? I mean, I would say what's more important than reading that, what's going on, Connor? What's more important than reading that is figuring out who would win Cocaine Bear versus Trinaconda. I would say that's actually a more important topic in the grand scheme of things. You know, that's a more important topic. That's what I would personally want to know. Yeah, guys, like I said, we're in here late, but it was worth it because I did a 2 hour consultation yesterday and got paid for it extra for rescheduling because I had to shut down my live early, and then the person ended up needing to move it up later, and then it ended up being a really long call. So I was compensated pretty well for all my time, so it's all good. But coffee chat's a little later accordingly. What are you worried about? But yeah, consultations have been really the interesting thing. I mean, my normal coaching business is great, but lately, like the consultations have really kept my business kind of flowing. You know, because it's not unusual. And what I mean by that, like it's the 19th, right? It's the 19th. I've already made over $500 on just consultation calls this month, like non-client calls. You know, I've already made over 500, and most of them come from these live streams. You know, people see the live streams and they see that I do them, and then they end up hopping in. So they're totally worth it. Um, David said there's no point in. So another reason why we do all these live streams and banter with people, it gets me consultation calls. It's 100% worth it. You know, I've had a few people chime in like, this can't be a good use of your time. I'm like, but it is a good use of my time, especially when I've closed this year. I've closed 3 clients who are still paying um, in live streams. And then I've done this month, I've already done 500 in consultation calls for non-clients. And these live streams are 100% worth it. But let's hop over into it. David said there's no point in reading a PhD if you won't learn anything from it. It's obvious Mike has not and never has conducted genuine research. He's a fraud like his fake life. Wow. But I mean, he's a businessman. Desert says, thoughts on 2-a-day workouts. You better know what you're doing. When I tore my bicep off the bone and had to have it repaired, that was good old 2-a-days. AM workout is heavy kettlebell swings with workout to ramp up to the posterior chain. PM workout is a variable resistance push or pull. How do I say this? 2-a-days have to be limited for short periods of time, and be aware that they can be problematic. I'm someone who's done 2-a-days, worked with 2-a-days. You need to really know what you're doing, and hopefully if you're strong. If you're weak, it's not a big deal. Once you get actually strong or a high work capacity, you got to really watch 2-a-days, Desert. They will absolutely bury your recovery, and your injury rates start going way up. So just be aware of that. All right. Just be aware of that. But he's doing a GBP workout, and then he's doing his resistance training after. And he's doing this twice a day. You know what I mean? As a novice, you'll get away with it. You start getting more advanced. I can tell you, for me, I would get buried. In my strength level and my age, trying to do that, I'd be burned out within 2 weeks. I would be forced into a deload at that point. I would be cramping and hurting all day long. My whole body would probably hurt. We keep stacking the piece, Coach. Thanks, David. And Connor said, yeah, recovery, sleep, and anabolics and diet better be 100% on point. Yeah, so when you start hearing dudes talking about 2-a-days who aren't on steroids, I'm just like, well, what are you even doing, guys? You know? Like, this is a steroid conversation. This is not a natural conversation. Hey guys, I'm doing 2-a-days. Yeah, what's your drug stack? And I say that not as a serious question, you know. Like, I hope that your drug stack is adequate to work with that, you know. But that's definitely not, especially you're talking like 6 days a week. You get some guys, I'm doing 2-a-days, 6 days a week, and they claim they're natural, and I start laughing. I'm like, you're wasting your time. All you're doing is hurting yourself. Just stop. What are you doing? No pharmaceutical recovery. Like, you're not taking any drugs to speed up recovery. No, I need to see drug stat and start. But again, Desert, you're obviously fairly new still and still pretty weak. Once you get strong, you're not doing that anymore. You don't do that when you're just cruising. That's usually mid blast on a drug, like, you know, when you're cycling. And even then, like, you better have it dialed in. You have to kind of build your life around that. And I would then question, you know, what are you doing? What do you compete in? You know, like, what are you trying to gain from it? Is always the question. Like, I don't understand why a non-competitor would do that. Right? What sport do you compete in? Right? Because I mean, I have people who are pretty advanced amateur athletes who maybe do 3 lifting sessions a week and then do conditioning on off days. But they're only recreational athletes, so not a big deal. You know. Uh-oh. What did my uninterrupted power supply pop? What's going on here, guys? What's the deal? I've made my external hard drive just reloaded and popped that stop. All right. Silly power. But at least we kept internet. My main goal is to be in great shape to climb Colorado 14er mountain faster next summer. Okay. So why are you doing this variable resistance thing? Why, if you're trying to do something serious, why aren't you getting under a barbell? Do you think Gagarin's been on a stack for decades or chivalry and stupidity? Dude, he was special forces. Alan, dude, he was special forces. You know, that's like asking, is your fitness influencer or professional athlete natural? Just stop. I'm gonna get coffee though. You really asked me if a spec ops guy was natural. I hope that's a joke. You don't know any special forces guys. You just told me that. They love steroids. So back to this. All right. So stop and think about the mindset for a minute. Think about the personality types. Alan, I hope you're trolling. Why didn't Lance Armstrong develop a decent physique? Lance Armstrong did test growth hormone and EPO. So and ask a simple question. You ever met a special forces guy? You ever met any? You ever sat down and chatted with one? Spec ops? Do they strike you as the personality that has moral arguments about cheating to win? Okay. No, but back over to the point. Do they strike you as the people who would be morally opposed to cheating in order to win? Or do they strike you as the people who will win at any means, that there's nothing off the table? Does Goggins strike you? Okay. No, stop. Let's answer the question. So, does Goggins strike you as the sort of person who would leave any option off the table to improve his performance? Does his personality tell you that he would say, hey guys, there's just things I'm not willing to do to get faster and better? You know, because society has deemed or the Olympics has said you shouldn't do it. No. I'm asking, I want you to answer the question. Tons of guys on steroids don't look like they lift. So that has nothing, that's, you can't even factor that in. Just stop. Right? I don't know why you think every dude on steroids looks like is supposed to look like a bodybuilder. That's delusional. That's delusional. So back over to the point. Does Goggins' personality strike you as someone who would not use something because a society says that it's wrong if it would improve his performance? I mean, Alan, how long have you been going to gyms? How many guys have you met in gyms who barely look like they lift, who are on gear? Like in just casual conversations at the gym. You had to have met at least 5, 10, 20. You know, if you've been working out a while, you've had to have met at least 5 or 10 guys on steroids who are telling you their drug stack who don't even look like they lift. You can't tell me. I know that you don't go to a gym if you tell me you haven't. You're not a long-term gym goer. No, but some stuff you could infer. I mean, mindset, goals. I don't think you understand how ubiquitous gear use is. It's people have lost sight of that. Right? I don't know who Baby Billy is. But why do you think that because someone, an endurance athlete, uses testosterone and HGH, that they're going to have a good physique? That's a strange assumption. Do they train for a good physique? Do they have the genetics for a good physique? Like, do you just assume everyone can look like a bodybuilder? That's a weird idea. Right? There's so many guys in my gym in London that less gear you would never know apart, right? Especially the UK, man. My God, dude. The UK, like everyone's on gear. You chat with the dudes in a British gym, the whole damn gym is on gear. Like, dude, you just like look like normal dudes. Yeah. Welcome to reality. You know, so it's different cultures there, but definitely the British culture with that is a little different. Dudes just literally take orals like they're supplements there. It's been my observation. Right. So the Brits in here will tell you that, right? So Mo, Ali, Connor, dude, how many of the lads in the UK basically just treat orals like protein powder? Yeah, they're legal, true. They're legal to possess. I mean, they're not legal. They're just not. The guy selling it is breaking the law. But it's such a minor slap on the wrist. Yeah. Dudes just treat oral steroids there. Like, and I'm serious. They just treat them like supplements. And I'm serious. Like, these guys will tell you, like, I've lived here. I lived there for 3 years. Dudes, unless they have this very I'm anti-gear mindset, the normal lads at the gym just treat orals like they're supplements. They treat it just like protein and creatine. Yeah. You know, in the UK, well, according to surveys, 30%. According to anonymous surveys in the UK, it's 30% of men who go to the gym take steroids. Who admitted to it in surveys. Like the government did surveys. 30%. They just walked into random gyms and surveyed all the guys who worked out. Set aside members and did anonymous polls. It's 30%. But they were just normal, regular gyms. Like they just went to random gyms, trying to get a random sample. So I guess it's going to depend on the culture of the gym. But yeah, you go say in the U.S. Bodybuilding gyms, like hardcore gyms, when you're just chatting, I'm going to say Man, probably 70%, 80%. So some of the serious gyms I've been to, everybody takes something. Now, normal box gyms, it's in the U.S. In my experience, it's probably only about 10%. In the past, 10, 20% at most. But hardcore gyms, like I've chatted with people and I've only met one guy who didn't at least do TRT or blast something, like just chatting. Like you meet a lot of middle-aged guys who are like, yeah, I do TRT, and then they might mess with a little peptides or a little growth on the side. It's really common. Like, and you go to the really serious gyms who are non-competitors. I've only had one conversation with a pretty jacked guy at a hardcore gym. It was one of the trainers who had never done anything. But he also pointed out, and he said if I competed in anything, I would consider it. He said I probably would, but he's like, I've gotten by on my genetics. He was a full-time trainer, and he's like, I went to a D1 university on a scholarship till I got hurt for football. Right. So it was a black dude who was a D1 athlete, had a hamstring tear that kind of knocked him out. And then he was a personal trainer at that point. And he said, honestly, man, he goes, I haven't needed to because I don't compete in anything now. And he goes, and I just get by on my genetics, like his words. But even he said, he goes, look, if I went and did a bodybuilding show or something, he goes, I probably would. Desert, who told you that? This is 2025. What? What? Dude, they cost less than supplements. Desert, what are you talking about? Who gave you that figure? This isn't okay. Those old numbers come from growth hormone pharma days. That's a different era, and it was the growth hormone. Like, do steroids cost pennies? They cost less than protein powder. What? No, not in today's market. What? I think your local dealer is trying to sell you something at exorbitant prices. Like you're paying street prices from Paco in the locker room. That $1,500 a month, he paid $50 for. Yeah, because the Liver King's a moron. Just stop, guys. Oh my God. Wow. Dude, this is 2025, man. You realize a bottle of test is like $25, right? I have no desire to see the Looks Maxing community. I feel like so I can't afford the mindset of watching someone like these Looks Maxing guys. It would literally hurt my ability to be attractive and confident, to even absorb their beta cuck mindset. Like, so no, I can't go check it out. My penis would shrink from even being exposed to their estrogen. All right. Honestly, David, if I were to and wanted to spend the money and take the risk, I would just run tests around the center growth hormone. There's no reason for anything else. Yeah. It's just Folgers today. It's just Folgers. Even as a teenager, I'd get constant option free Devo, right? Isn't it crazy how many people just give out free drugs in this world? Do you guys know how many times I turned down free cocaine as an adult? And I've never done it. I've never tried it. I have no desire to try it. But I've been offered coke so many times in my life that it would make your head spin. It's ludicrous. I had someone give me some and handed it to me, and I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, wait, what did you just give me? The dude did a handshake and he dropped something in my hand. Like, what's up, man? And it's a freaking, I'm like, what the hell do I do with it? It's like a possession. I didn't want it. How did, what? Oh my God. Well, let's come over to Mo Ali's. Busy with law school finals plus work, so doing Facebook 2 times a week. Intensity is high, but volume is quite low given the constraints. As low as 2 to 3 sets a week on some body parts. Will this be? Mo, you know what? You can 100% maintain on 3 sets a week. Yeah. If intensity is high enough, I think that you can. I didn't accept because I didn't want to take anabolics 16, 17. But people in the gym just went to the point and waiting, just get big. Same here as father is not worth it. All right. Now I'm 27, anabolics are not off the table, but first I want to maximize all the other natty variables like diet training. I think that's a smart approach, Connor. I think that's a smart approach. But yeah, David. So honestly, for me, if I were to seriously consider blasting again, I would probably just run a gamma test, control my E2 with aromacin, and just take however much growth hormone I'd want. I'd probably run anywhere between 4 and 8 units of growth a day and just call it. I would get pretty big real quick. But I'm not saying I haven't considered it, but it's just for me at this point in life. I don't need gear to reach my goals. I just simply don't. I don't feel that I have any goals that require it. Here's in UK and me. Go for it, right? Well, what you waiting for, mate? All right. So here's the real question. So desert, how much would that cost me? I'm gonna tally it up for you since so if I were to run a gamma test and 8 units of growth hormone every day, right? Gamma test a week plus some aromacin. I'll do the exact math for you since you want to know what cycles cost. What would I pay for that? How much do aromacin? I would just count the aromacin as $5 because I wouldn't need that much. $5 a month of aromacin. Yeah, I'm really gonna do the math. So how much is a kit? 8 units a day, right? That's what is that? 240 units a month. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you to the dollar what this would cost me. Desert. Let me see. If I could be awake enough to use a calculator. It would cost me $260 a month to blast like that. I'd probably put on 25 pounds of muscle. Over the next year. Chinese are, dude, no one uses farmer growth hormone anymore. So $260 is about what that would cost me approximately per month. Now that you asked, there's your context. I mean, I could get it a little cheaper if I wanted to go through the hassle, but just my easy access. I mean, I could probably push the limits and run down certain sources and get it down to 200 or less, but that's just not worth it. Yeah, I mean, it's the cost difference, though. Now, I could get Bartlett from a doctor tomorrow if I had the money, but it's prohibitively expensive. The Chinese growth is fine these days, and it's 10% of the price. I mean, why are you going to pay $1,000 for something you could pay $90 for, with no discernible difference? You know, just saying. So that's when people talk about expensive, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about FDA grade growth hormone when you hear these giant price tags. And pro bodybuilders used to swear by it. They used to be like, if you don't have legit, true high grade pharma grade growth hormone, you can't get to the Olympia stage. Like they're like, it's impossible to get on the stage without it. You know, like, yeah, you might get your pro card, but you're not placing the Olympia. I don't know. I have no idea what the market's like, Connor. Connor, I have no idea what growth hormone costs in the UK. Pharma stuff, I mean, I don't see why it would be any cheaper. All right. Check something. I can get pharma for $450 a kit. It's just cheaper than it used to be. So I was just checking. Yeah, I mean, I could get it for $450. It used to be a lot more. Like easy if I just wanted it next week. I don't know what you guys are paying in the UK. Got to head off, coach. Have a good day. I'm working from home tomorrow, so I'll be locked in. Cool, man. Cool. Mm. Get some more coffee. Oh, I got to remember to do my post. Why am I forgetting my Facebook post? What's wrong with me, Jason? Now that's bad business move. I can't be forgetting that just because I'm chatting with you guys. All right. Got to get that extra bonus. Oh, man. Coach over here slacking. So yeah, but I don't know that it's necessarily pricier. But there's bodybuilders who absolutely believe in that. But then again, man, there's some people who are pointing out, is that one of the factors of why the current Mr. Olympias all look terrible? Are they all using generics? Right? Because guys like Ronnie used the FDA stuff. You know? Yeah, but that's the other problem too, David. With your question, like it would be kind of obvious, I think, if I went and did a blast. I think people would know real quick at this point because of the strength base and the size base I have. It would be pretty obvious. I think their genetics are nowhere near as good as Ronnie's, though. Oh yeah, that's true too. It has to be factored in. At least bodybuilding genetics, right? We use that term too loosely, and it's bodybuilders get stupid with that, you know. Because keep in mind, what are some of the genetic traits that make for a Mr. Olympia? You know, being short. Like, just keep that in mind. That is one of the required genetic traits to win. Right? In open bodybuilding, you have to be short. Like, that's not optional. Well, that's a genetic trait. Right? One of the 7 or 8 kind of mandatory traits. You've got to be below average height. You have to have short arms. Like these are not optional. Right? You have to have a short, you have to have a small ape index. You have to be no taller than say 5'7". That's like the upper cap. Got to have T-Rex arms. Like these are requirements almost to win at this point. All right. How else are your arms gonna look big enough? You can't be up there with a 6-foot wingspan, guys. There's just no way your arms are gonna look big enough. All right. You know. And I think it's shocking when people meet pro bodybuilders in person. They didn't you understand what I'm saying. You're like, I mean, yeah, they're wide and they're big, but they're not what you're expecting. Right? Because of you only see them next to other pro bodybuilders on the stage, yeah, then you have politics too, you know. They have these different views. I mean, case in point, right? We see Nick Walker, all right? You see Nick Walker. Look how freakish he looks. Like you look at him and know he's dead in 10 years, right? Like you look at him and go, this motherfucker ain't gonna be alive. He's dying. Like he looks just monstrous. Till you see him next to a strength athlete or somebody, and you're like, what? Right? You guys see Nick Walker next to Larry Wheels? And then it clicks. That should be a wake-up call because Nick Walker looks like the freakiest, most mutinous thing you've ever seen. And you're like, dude, this dude's dropping dead, right? That's my first thought. Like, this motherfucker's going to be dead in less than a decade. There's no way he survives. Not even possible. I can't even conceive of it. Like, I'm willing to bet a lot of money on that. Then you see him next to Larry Wheels, and you're like, what? I don't know. Let me check. I saw him next to Larry Wheels, I thought, and I was like, what? Let me double check. I could be wrong because I was half awake. Saw it scrolling through Facebook on my phone. So how tall is Larry? So how tall is the average human skull? This will tell us. Larry Wheels claims 6 foot. All right. This is really easy. I'm going to tell you Nick Walker's exact height. The average human skull is 8 to 9 inches in length. Okay. Nick Walker's head comes to right about here on Larry Wheels, who claims to be 6 foot. Let's assume we shave 1 to 2 inches. So that's what got to be 7. So if Larry Wheels is being honest about being 6 foot tall, subtract about 7 inches from that, right? Which puts us down to 5'5". See how easy that was? So Nick Walker's about 5'5", ballpark. I don't know. I can't screen share. Screen share on YouTube live? No, dude, they don't let you do anything. I can show a picture of Nick Walker next to you. Hold on. Let's try that. So, all right. So there you go. There's Nick Walker standing there trying to out-angle Larry Wheels. So Nick Walker comes up to here on Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels claims to be 6 foot. The problem is Larry Wheels is a millennial. So the 6 foot claim becomes dubious. Is he 5'9" or is he 6 foot? I don't know. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Did you ever see the videos of Brian Shaw on stage with all the Olympia winners? And he was like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, absolutely. Even the past 2-time Mr. Olympia Big Ramy, who was 300 plus on stage, got nerve damage a few years ago and hasn't returned since. Raleigh Winker placed 3rd 1 year, then disappeared. Yeah. Yep. Why do we only have 4 likes, guys? How are we an hour deep with 4 likes? I mean, bro, we got like 8 people dropping comments, so we only got 4 likes. Come on, y'all. Work with me a little bit. I'm gonna go get some coffee. It's brutal how muscle dysmorphia can cost you decades of your life. Yep. Yep. Nature of the game, guys. Hold on, I gotta keep some posts going here. Trying to get some posts going here, but it's like, no, we're streaming too much stuff. Come on, guys. I have like 128 gigs of RAM. What's wrong with y'all? Just stop. There we go. Sometimes when you have too many things going, the computer doesn't like it. I'll probably need to close my video editing. That would help. Hey, maybe I don't need all my video editing software open while we're streaming on multiple platforms. You think that would be smart? Let's maybe not have that open. I didn't need that program running. I left it turned on last night. Two consultation calls with it all still running. It's like, come on. That's when you know you overbuild your computers. All my video editing software is going while I'm doing video consultations, and just forgot to close it. Yeah, it's what they sign up for. Exactly. Like, you know that already. So Cog, if you say, hey, I want to be a professional bodybuilder, you're accepting you're going to die young. So there's no mystery to this. Let me be clear. When you wake up and say, you know what, I want to get a pro card in bodybuilding, you accept that you're shaving 20 or 30 years off your life as a default, as part of the decision. Everybody, this is not even up for debate. People like me and all these people who put this out, they know this. They might get more delusional about it as they get further into it, but you don't get up one day and go, you know what, that's where I want to be, and think you're going to make it to 70 years old. You know, you just accept that. Yeah. You know, they accept that. They know it's a death sentence. So, I mean, at a certain point, do we have any sympathy? You go, well, they decided that when they were young and dumb. Okay, but we see that with other stuff, right? You just accept that when you make certain choices, it's going to cost you. Like if you were 19 years old, get up one day and say, hey, I want to be a professional burglar. This is what I'm going to do. Well, you accept that it may cost you your life young. You know. Yeah. So at the end, the guy doing push-ups and jogging on the beach wins. Right. Yep. This bodybuilder probably wouldn't want sympathy either. They know the risks, right? The same thing, you know, all these people, this cracks me up, and they're like, how come this person or that person's not shredded? Or look, it's like, do you not understand what it takes for these dudes to be shredded? Exactly what we're talking about. Dudes doing 2 hours of fasted cardio after injecting insulin. Exactly. Which is why I laugh when people pull that with me. You're not shredded, dude. You eat clean and you do all this training and you're not shredded. What away? I'm like, because that's not how you get shredded, bros. You get shredded by doing, you know, pro bodybuilder shredded. Like, yeah, exactly. 2 hours of fasted cardio while taking drugs during the fasted window. I take 6 different drugs to suppress my appetite. You're not getting that lean, the lean some of these guys getting. Most people are not, just because you eat clean and work out. That's not how it works. People are delusional. It's like they don't go listen to the shredded guys, right? They don't actually go listen. Hey, how did you do this? You know, we live in this delusional world where people really think that a healthy lifestyle is going to get you shredded, and they completely ignore everyone who's shredded telling you how they did it, right? Like, go listen to them. Listen to the strategies they utilize. Even the ones who don't admit to their drugs, and you start listening. Hey, how do you stay that lean year round? And then you listen to their daily strategies. And it's like, and we all know there's drugs involved, but even if they don't tell you the drugs, you're like, you have definitely some crazy stuff happening. They'll still be like, well, all through the middle of the day, I try to avoid eating and I just drink a protein shake instead of eating anything for 8 hours during my workday in the middle. And I chew nicotine gum to suppress my appetite. And they're like, wait, you like, yeah, every day for 5 years straight. This is what I do. And we're like, you're like, what? Are you serious? Like, so I have breakfast. And the only thing I have during my workday, the whole workday, is protein shake or two and chew nicotine gum to suppress my appetite for years on end. Well, that's how he keeps his six-pack year round. Great, There's nothing to do with eating clean and lifting weights. Yeah. I mean, even me, I'm fasted. I'm drinking coffee and I don't eat breakfast till noon. Because I have an insane appetite. Like, I'm someone who's been over 300 pounds. Like, my appetite is off the hinges. But I don't think how extreme some of these people go. When you start talking to pre-contest bodybuilders, the amount of drugs involved for them to get shredded, and they don't stay there. Like, they can't maintain it. Right? I know a lot of bodybuilders both know the risk and do it anyways. It's like how a skydiver, extreme sports athlete, does their thing. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mustafa, what's going on? I just saw you. Any new informative? No, I'm not making informative. I don't need them. So I'm just doing lives and vlogs at the moment. I have 60 of them unuploaded, but the problem is, Mustafa, it's been made very, very clear to me with the algorithm that I can't put up more than 3 pieces of content. Live streams make me the most money. So I can't take live streams out to replace with informative videos. It kills my algorithm. I cannot exceed 3 pieces of non-short content a day at all. That's ruined my channel. And I already have over 10,000 informative videos. I made a whole post on this, Mustafa. I made a whole post. And I'm doing Facebook Lives again because I can. I was blocked here. I couldn't do them. So for a month, and now it let me start doing them again. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with it, Mustafa. I have 12,000 informative videos. I have covered everything you will ever possibly need. Right? In terms of informative lifting and fitness related content, my library includes the sum total knowledge of the human race on these topics at this point. No one ever needs to make another informative fitness video unless a bunch of new science emerges. Neither I or anyone else ever needs to make another one. My library in existence on the tubes covers the sum total of human knowledge on these topics at this point. And I do mean that. And I feel like I've created a pretty complete library. Are you asking me to explain to you in detail what's up with the algorithm? I know I'm not going to be able to do that. But essentially, I've spammed my channel into shadow ban territory. So I have to back off on that. I need every single thing that I make to show up in people's notifications from now on. So I'd have to limit my content. Well, let's come back over to the tubes. I'd rather get to 9 or 10% than 6%, right? Yeah. Do they get some sort of high from trend? I don't know that I would describe it. I mean, are you asking, do they get mental effects, or are you asking like a positive euphoria? I mean, trend has extreme psychological effects. It's definitely not a euphoria. No, I don't think most guys are getting that from trend. Some anabolics test, debol, things like that can in some cases. I don't think anyone's getting a true euphoria from trend. Why am I getting my views dropped to nothing just now? We got to change topics, guys. No one cares about bodybuilding. All right. This topic of conversations killed the views on YouTube today. Every time we start talking about pro bodybuilding, I just might as well close the stream. It kills the outreach every single time. Because like only 6 people on the face of the planet care about pro bodybuilding. It's a dead topic. It destroys my live stream algo. So we need to move on. So we need to move on from your drug questions too. Let's talk about something else. Mustafa, I am uploading less. I am uploading the videos that will get the most benefit. Live streams and my blogs. Yeah. Plus, I've already made everything. There's no new content to make. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just remake the same video? I've already done it over and over. You know, it's just easier for me to do a live stream. I make more money, and there's just no reason for me to make informative videos. I've covered everything. There's nothing left to cover. There is nothing left to cover. You could take any fitness question or any topic you could possibly think of, go to my channel and type it into the search engine and find 17 videos. You could find 2 hours of content already on pretty much anything you could imagine. So the downside is making the videos. Man, I've got to stand here and talk and record something I've already said 17 times. Why? It's already there. Been blocked by someone on the chat. I don't know if you've been blocked by someone in the chat. But let's get some other stuff. Gassart says, the GOAT. What's going on, Gassart? Why is it hot in here? Is my AC? Hold on, guys. Let me check my AC. It's all the coffee. All right, David says about RPE. I know you were against it, but when I was swimming, I was able to pace myself to 80% of my max on that distance. Why can't lifters do that with RPE? Because they're too stupid. Their egos get in the way. Lifters are not capable of using RPE. Young men are not psychologically capable of using RPE under a barbell. They're just not. You need to look no further than the internet for evidence. Do you think the Jason Blaha 505 is outdated? No, it works. It worked great. It still works. I guess we did that every training 5 times a week at least. So I don't understand why you're taking swimming over to a barbell. Like, they're not really the same thing at all. You know, they're not really the same thing. And so if we're talking work sets, if you were to successfully use the RPE for work sets, why would we need it? Like, I don't understand why you would do it. Explain to me how you're going to gain muscle using RPE on lifts. Are strokes counted as reps? I don't know. Like, there's no actual effective strategy here. Unless you're just doing jump volume. So what's the only two RPE numbers you should be using in hypertrophy training? 9.5 and 10. So why do we need to make it that complicated? Because muscle building is not a sport. So all right. So why would we need to differentiate 9.5 from 10? Because either you went to failure or you stopped a hair short of failure. That's it. That's the only two numbers you need for hypertrophy purposes. That's it. Right? So therefore it becomes useless. And guys can't apply it to maxes. How you doing, Lacey? Good morning. So the problem is applying it to max effort work. Really, everything is missed lift. So when I go and look at forums or groups or social media posts, dudes will be like, this was my max squat or deadlift or bent, whatever the lift is, right? It's an RPE 8.5. They missed the lift. So if I had never heard of RPE and I went and looked at people's examples of RPE, I would assume that an 8.5 is a missed lift. It was too heavy. It exceeded your 1 rep max. Because it's a lift that wouldn't pass in competition. They were not strong enough to lift it. Therefore, it's a bad lift, and they'll call it 8.5. But I'm like, it's heavier than your max. You failed the lift. Is you had to cheat through and do something not allowed because you weren't strong enough to lift it. And that's a normal. That's like every day when you go look at lifting groups. You see that every day. That's the norm. 8.5 means heavier than your max. So it becomes kind of useless. Dudes are not able to set their ego aside and use it. Right? So a 10 should be your true max, but it should pass in a competition. What's going on, Sean? I don't know that home gym's the only way, Lacey. I like home gyms. I like home gyms. I use a home gym, but they're definitely not the only way. Plenty of people have great success in a commercial gym. You know? There's a video. Sean, is it new or if this is a 2015 reference again, I'm probably just going to ban you. I mean, I've asked you to just stop doing that. So just an FYI. So there's a video with 10 million views. Is it a hate video? What year is it from? Okay, gotcha. Just sort of, I've been lifting for only 2 months and my bench has gone from 95 to 155. Is this good or am I making progress? No, that's phenomenal. Just start. I hope that that's a troll question. Like, why would you make that sort of phenomenal progress and ask if it's too slow? You got to be trolling me, dude. That's like walking in and saying, hey, man, I closed a business deal for $1 million. Is that too little? Is it not enough? Is it too slow? Like, dude, you just made $1 million. What are you talking about? Dude's over here going, putting 60 pounds on his bench in 2 months as a noob. Ask it. Like, enjoy that while it lasts. You'll never replicate that again the rest of your life. My God. Good Lord. Enjoy it. No, dude, that's fantastic progress. Like, that's why I'm laughing. Like, if you're asking if it's too slow, like, you think people make faster? What? Who you know who makes faster progress than this? I remember the fact that Nippert actually applied your critique over the likes of Ken Obudi, right? Yep. Keep that in mind. Nippert has 15 million views, some followers, and Nippert literally made a pillow with my face on it and laid down and did a video of him sleeping and waking up with my voice in his head criticizing him, and used it. It did a video where he used it as motivation. Because even these guys admit, this is even my biggest critics admit, like, dude, his strength coach, I may not like Blaha, but my God, does he know how to get people strong? No, he didn't supposedly. He did. So there's only two possibilities. When David Lade said that he used the Ice Cream Fitness 5x5 to build his base, either he was lying or he didn't. There's no supposedly. So supposedly implies there's a possibility he didn't, that it's a rumor. Well, in his exact words, he said that he did. So, either he's lying or telling the truth. There's no supposedly. All right. I respect Nippert far more than these other idiots like Scott Herman, right? Joe Fazer hired me at one time. What do you mean? He didn't use my program. I coached Joe Fazer for a while. He hired me to coach him. We got his deadlift to 4 plates. That was his goal. No, I coached Joe about 5 years ago for about 5-6 months. Good kid back then. And that's why I give credit. And so people are like, well, I don't like him. I don't know about anything about the current rumors or whatever. But what I know is when he dropped out of coaching, he paid me an extra month for my time because he said, hey, I'm dropping out and I didn't, warn you ahead of time. Like, I'm going to go ahead and drop out next week. He goes, but I'm going to pay you another month of coaching just because I didn't, in good faith. So just an FYI. It's just a good faith effort and a thank you. So he paid me for a full month of coaching that he didn't use. So that's what I know about Joe Fazer. So I don't know all the other rumors and crazy stuff I've heard. That was my personal experience with him. So I need to be paid for a debate. I'm not debating for free. Like, will I do a debate for sufficient money? Yes. Especially these days. I mean, I had situations where it was harder to schedule stuff. Right now, I'd be happy to do a debate. If I'm compensated for it, sure. Big up coach just hopping in, just got it done on his phone. What's up, Peppermint? So arrange it and discuss payment. Sean, but can you afford to pay for it? Like, I'm not debating for free, guys. I mean, I'm more than happy to do debate videos. but I need to be appropriately compensated. So for me to do a 1 hour debate for someone else to then record and upload, um, I feel $1,000 is pretty reasonable. Lane backed out, but we had agreed to $7,000 at one time for a debate. And that was a serious agreement. And then he backed out. Like we had agreed that he was going to pay it. But I feel $1,000 for me to do a 1 hour, formal debate, with someone moderating it. I think it's fair. I just finished working out, so I'm going to shower. Okay, fair, Lacey. I'm not going to be able to help you with this razor situation. But all good. Yes, I'm being funny. Let's go over her on the tubes. Facebook a little slow there. I remember the Lane Norton debate challenge. He tried to say you fudged the figures. He chickened out. He backed out. He fudged out. The agreement was, well, you pay X amount of whatever my YouTube income. And he said, okay, fine. And he said, but it has to be documented. So I notarized it. So the bank manager was a public notary. So I went to my bank. I went to my credit union at the time. And I had them print out the direct deposits with dates, right? Had them print out direct deposits with dates and notarize it. And he was just like, I forgot. It was a significant, it was a lot more than $7,000. I think it was something like, you need to pay me 3 months of my YouTube ad revenue, an average of 3 months. And so I had him print out a full year. So my notary, we printed out a full year direct deposits from Google. So they were all spaced so that we had a full year and then we could take the average. And when I had it notarized by a public notary at the bank. So the bank manager printed it out, notarized it, stamped it as official document. And then he backed out. Sean, that seems really, really funny. Sean, think that one through for a moment. I literally get in live streams every day. I've hung out and broed out and joked with other people at events. You see pictures and stuff of me socializing with people, laughing. And you know that my real life bros describe me as Stifler. Asking me if I'm a shy person would be like asking Hathor if he's a short person. Yeah, Sean, I'm probably about done with you with something that stupid. Like, you can't be that dumb. I don't want to have to say it again because I'm trying to not have to discuss this, but we're pretty much at ban for you. Yeah, your mom is not a personal response. I'm actually, Sean, I'm actually an extreme extrovert by personality. So I feel like with that particular statement though, I've given you numerous warnings and you don't pick up the hints. I think we're at about that time. I don't know if he's close to a kapow. I mean, hell, let's put it up. Essentially, he knows the reason I don't do meet and greets is because I get swatted and have stalkers. Every time my public whereabouts are known, the police get called as an active shooter. So, and I've told you guys this before, I don't want the SWAT team showing up at a meet and greet. I've told you this. It's nothing to do with Shy. So, but he refuses to back off on these things. So, Sean, you're now up for a kapow. We have enough channel members and moderators in here. I feel that it's reasonable to vote. Yeah. Does Sean knows better. He's been warned. So, come on, Jason. I genuinely didn't know. All right, I'm going to take it down. But I've told you that, Sean, you always say that, but I've told you certain things before that you go, I didn't know, but really I've told you these things. I remember telling you certain things in live streams. No, I think he did mean it. Like, he does this a lot. You guys have clearly not watching the pattern of behavior. But stay but on thin ice. All right. I didn't watch you, so. All right. So we're going to let you stay for now because you got channel members. So let's move back over to other topics though. I don't know why you guys don't get the hint on the meat. I don't like to have to keep saying this stuff, but you guys force me to talk about stalkers with your comments. I really don't want to have to discuss it. So can we stop with things that involve my personal life or me going places and meeting people and telling you guys about it? Not that hard, guys. Come on. All right. When you make enough progress, should you switch out of the full body workouts? I do full body right now. Not necessarily. It's personal preference. I mean, I train full body. Yeah, Connor's right. It's creepy, Sean. No, I mean, I currently do full body, just started again. I'm gonna squat, bench, and deadlift this morning. So I'm probably gonna squat, bench, deadlift, do some weighted chins, and a little bit of accessory work. All right. I'm trying to push the weighted chin progression really hard for them biceps. I'm probably gonna do for accessories. I'll most likely do some reverse hypers. I think I'm gonna do a set of tricep extensions, some laterals, and then train my neck. All right, so that'll be today. Is the tentative game plan. The first time, I don't know if I'm going to live stream the running anymore because it eats up a slot. I might do it on Facebook, not on YouTube. I can't eat the slot up on something that doesn't make any money. I cannot waste the notification slot or the account. It's too spammy. Yeah, I don't feel that I need the curls. My arms were bigger when I did nothing but weighted pull-ups. I'm just going to hammer progression on the weighted chin super hard. I feel like I need the extra tricep work in that slot just because it's holding me back on the bench. My triceps are still, when I do that back down work, so I'm trying to get to the 225 or 20. I keep hitting 19 and I'm failing the lockout. So the 19th rep, I'm struggling with the lockout. I just need more tricep stamina for it. So I do feel like I need to throw some extensions in. I can't remember the exact year I first played guitar. Can we just be ballpark? Maybe 13? Uh-oh, I don't know who SS is. He got a gift membership. I don't know who he is. Who's that person? Elle says, Coach, I'm going on a 4th date with this girl, and she invited me to her place for a movie instead. Do you think this means she wants me to make a move? Well, Elle, what country are you in? That's an important question. What's your country and culture? That's relevant to the question. Yeah, it just gives. Normally, it's people who I recognize, though. I don't know who that person is. Okay, you're America, you're California. Any specific background? Is she American born? Is she born in the US? And if not, what's her cultural background? Okay, done. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and knock it out. I'm not saying do something that's a problem, like if she says no or gives you hints, otherwise obviously stop. Fourth date, American born white girl in California. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just follow her body language. Odds are pretty good. So how do I put this? Fourth date invited you to her place for a movie. This is her background. Um, she's definitely open to the possibility. As long as you don't do something stupid and you're just confident and chill, as long as you show up confident and chill, 99% chance you're in. Right? The main thing is just not doing something that puts her off. But if you're just confident and chill, yeah, she's pretty much interested. So in that case, unless there's something else we don't know about, unless she's told you, hey, we're definitely not sleeping together. I'm waiting till marriage, or unless there's some conversation like this that's occurred. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I don't want to say 100% because there are different things like that, but generally speaking, yeah. Nope. The fact that you need to ask me this is kind of funny, though. All right. I need to get coffee. Yeah. Felix says, I've never been denied on a date in my life. You have to be confident and chill, like Coach said, but I'm sure to build a rapport over text before we even go out. But he's already been on 3 dates with her. Confident and chill is very ambiguous. I need some practical. Oh my God. Bro. You're already fucking it up. Never mind. You're screwed. So the fact that you need tips other than be yourself, never mind, dude. I take it back. You're gonna drop the ball. I can't help you. Never mind, I take it back. Your 99% just went down to 10. The fact that you don't know that means just show up and be yourself and not nervous, and that you need tips, never mind. I can't help you. You're beyond my help, dude. Sorry. I'm not trying to, I'm just be calling it like it is. The fact that you're overthinking it to the point where you need tips, you're not confident. That's it. That's all we need to know. Yeah, you're cooked. Like, all you had to do was just show up and be yourself and not be nervous. That's it. But if you need, so that's too ambiguous. I need practice. You're screwed, dude. That's it. You're cooked. I mean, yeah. Only watching you being a girl. Okay. How old are you? I'm assuming you're a virgin. All right. Should be focused on what you're going to do. All right. You know, I mean, bro. What did you do to get? So, what did you do on the first 3 dates? Be the guy who she invited. Be the guy who she invited to her place. That's it. Whatever you did to interest her enough to invite you to her place, keep doing that. There you go. I mean, you were pretty much in, and then you got nervous. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. No, Sean, I've never been to Hawaii. No, Felix. He's asking what to do. He hasn't gone yet. So did you not? So Felix, let me explain. They went on 3 dates. For the 4th date, instead of going out, she said, "Hey, why don't you come to my place and watch a movie?" Her idea for the 4th date. He hasn't gone to said date yet. But who you guys kapowing? Be specific here. 2 channel members is calling. Who are we kapowing? What's our kapow vote? Keep in mind, L's been doing this a while. Oh, yeah. This is an anti-alcohol channel, by the way. Kapow. Also, by the way, Connor. Well, no. Let's give him a moment. Okay, let's give him a moment. Let's just turn this to, instead of a kapow, let's turn it into a learning experience. Can we try that? Is that cool, dudes? So, L, you're in a relatively liberal place. Bringing alcohol and then getting her intoxicated potentially is potentially problematic. I have been in a situation where I've turned down sex from a girl who was drunk because this is potentially a problem. Okay. Be aware. Be aware. In a worst case scenario, that could go bad for you. Okay. It's technically illegal to have sex with an intoxicated person in most places. You know. So I can give you a story with one of mine. I had a situation. I was out with a few friends. Um, because I knew I was driving, I didn't drink. Okay. Friend of mine was there, girl I knew. We were hanging out. We were at a bar. This is a long time ago. This is when I was a drinker. But because I was driving, I didn't drink. I stayed sober. She asked me if I would take her home. She knew she was too drunk to drive. She said, "Hey, will you make sure that you take me home tonight? Make sure I get home." And we were some other friends, and other people knew I was taking her home. Some other couple of people around. We were hanging out, and she got pretty drunk. Okay, she got pretty drunk. I took her home, and while I'm in the car, she started groping me while drunk. Like I'm talking, playing with my junk, through my pants, was kissing on me, rubbing up against me on the way home. Right? She threw up in my car. We got almost to her place, and she stopped and puked in my floorboard. So I took her inside, left her fully clothed. I put her on the bed, not the bed, at her couch. I laid down a towel next to her on her side so that she didn't puke all over her couch. I went and took a little trash can from her bathroom with a trash bag in it, stuck it on the edge of the couch so that in case she puked, it would land in her puke bucket. Laid the towel so that she wouldn't puke on her own couch. Left her fully clothed, left her boots on. She had on boots, cowgirl jeans, and I tucked her in with a blanket, fully clothed, boots still on her couch with the puke bucket, her head to the side. And I went home and took care of business myself. Why? Why'd I do that, El? I wanted to hit it. I was horny. She turned me on. She was way too drunk. All right. I mean, I don't think you need drinks. No, my advice would be no, because I'm generally anti-alcohol. Um, you know. And the next morning, she called me. Actually, called me up and thanked me for that. She apologized for being that drunk. Um, you know, well, no, it's just bad in general. Yeah, it can also cause performance issues in the bedroom. Right. People are saying that could be problematic, but if a guy was groping a girl while drunk to a girl like that, it would not go down as well. You know, well, so uncompelled. But I think that's the point too. You know, El, we also have to have that conversation about a man having a code of honor, right? A man has to have a code of honor. And for me, because of my own childhood and other stuff, never committing an act that could be considered any type of sexual assault, even in the mildest sense. Well, you know, you're sober and she had maybe a few too many drinks. You know, we're getting into that. Where do we draw the line on when can she not give consent? You know what I mean? How many drinks is that? Where do we set that number? You know what I mean? We got to think about. I mean, so we're not even talking about in the legal sense. We're talking about your own basic code, right? Your own basic code of honor. There's got to be a point where you draw a line, and you got to figure out where that line is, right? You got to draw that line. But in that case, there was no line. She was so far beyond that line that it's like, this is not even there's no question on that one. Like, there was no gray, there was no ambiguity, there was no middle ground. She was way too drunk, and it doesn't matter that she came on to me. I've worked as a bouncer, El. What do you think? I've been a bouncer part-time a long time ago. Have I, in a professional setting for money, stopped drunk guys from bothering girls at a bar? Yes. I have done that as a part-time job. Oh man, you know, I'm poking fun of Moses for other feels, but you made. Oh man. But here's the thing I'm going to say: hanging out in bars is already dangerous. You know, this is, oh man. Oh man. No, I don't really want to talk about it, honestly. I hate being around drunk people for the most part. As a driver, I've driven many women home while drunk, and there have been many multiple women who try to throw themselves at me, and I tell them, yeah, exactly. Do you're a driver? You're especially an Uber driver or something, sleeping with that drunk woman, man. I mean, setting aside the morality aspect, bro, you could definitely end up in jail for that one. Yeah, that's definitely a no-go. You know, that's definitely a no-go. That's having some common sense. Well, I am known for that in my social circles of being the guy who makes sure that, you know, the girls get home. By the way, so the whole circle that I met through Brittany and all that, I've made sure those girls got home. I've had Brittany and I before picked up groups of girls, and I am the designated driver and make sure everybody's safe. When they were drinking, this is during my drinking days still. So, yeah, make sure they don't get messed with. Yeah. No, I don't go to bars at all. Am I willing to be the DD? Yeah, everyone who knows me knows that, right? If someone's been drinking and I'm there, I am always willing to step in and be the DD. But I don't get scheduled for it. Some of my bros did ask me a while back, though. They wanted to go to Brewfest, and they're like, "Will you be? Since we know you don't drink, will you be our designated driver?" We ended up not doing it. I'd agreed to. Because I don't drink doesn't mean I'm going to be able to stop the rest of the world from drinking, but I'm also going to be that person who doesn't want to see anybody driving drunk. So I have to be the person who steps in to make sure that someone's not driving drunk. I'm more than happy to do that. Because again, I feel pretty strongly about drunk driving. So if I've got to go drive a drunk person home, I'm absolutely going to do it without hesitation. All right. But no, I don't go to bars. I haven't set foot in a bar in years. I have no desire to go sit in a bar. I don't enjoy being around intoxicated people. Especially in those settings, right? And looking how I look going into bars these days can be a problem, just in general. Um, right. Wait. Who's? I don't see Moses. Who's Moses, by the way? So he's being caught in my spam filter. Is there a person in here named Moses? Is it not doing the live chat? I don't see who Moses is. Who is this? Oh, he just now appeared. Wow, he just appeared further up. So I had to reload the live chat thing. Hold on. Let me see. Now I can see him. No. I can see him now. So I had to reload the live chat. It was still showing his live chat, but there was something wrong. Listen, and chill with that. Ask her if she filmed a few drinks, and she would have been pull up. Okay. So somebody called a kapow. Did he block me? I bet that's why, but I had to reload the thing. All right. All right, hold on. I got some messages I got to check, but let's see. So did someone call for a kapow on Moses? All right. Yeah, that's pretty kapow worthy. Let's put it up for a vote, guys. All right, kapow Moses for this nonsense. Promoting this sort of degeneracy. He's over here calling women the B word, talking about everybody getting a few drinks. Yeah. All right. One kapow, two kapows. Anybody else? Any of the channel members would care about the kapows? Connor? I'm surprised Connor not calling for a kapow immediately. Joined 3 months ago. Yeah, but it's statements alone. There's kapow votes up. Yeah. Connor, you voting? Yeah, kapow. All right, Moses. You've been found guilty of being a degenerate. The sentence is death. Kapow! And you're out of here. Hold on. I gotta go back to my messages. All right. Yeah, it holds up. Kapow. Yeah. BMW in the house. What's up, BMW? How you doing, broski? Oh, man. Upgraded membership to Orc Warlord. Oh, appreciate it, BMW. Type really fast. I type 70 words a minute. At least I assume I still do. That's what I did. So I took college prep typing course in high school, and they tested us, but they taught us how to speed type. Like they actually had us do exercises and strategies for it, right? So I tested at 70 words a minute at the end of the class. So I've been speed typing for over 30 years. I don't know what I'm at now, but at the end of the class, I typed 70 words a minute on the actual test because they tested us. And they had a minimum, like it affected your grade on the final, like how fast could you type? And I used to type pretty quick myself, still work part-time, yeah. But they were on real typewriters, so it's, they were electronic typewriters, but still. As your fast agile fingers will benefit you in other areas, well, the guitar. You've seen me speed shoot. I mean, you've seen me shoot, right? Have you watched me work a Glock on camera? I know what he's getting at, Women be thinking like that too. No, to be fair, it's not invalid women to be like that. I've definitely had one when they see you play the guitar. They'd be like, what them fingers do? Yeah. But yeah. You've seen me shoot. So Glock 19, I can accurately fire 3 shots per second and keep them in the 10 ring. How the fangle are you, kid? Salute. What? What do you want about Anthony? What is fangle? I don't know what that means. But he says salute. Buenos tardes, mi amigo. Oh, man. Yeah. Used to be crazy. I'm probably going to wind this down now. I want to get my head straight to train. This one isn't going to be as long as I slept in later. I might do a really long afternoon today though, but I think I'm about to wind this down. But coming here needed Politan sesión de. Okay, I thought when he said salute that was in Spanish. No. Alrighty. Bench again today. Yeah, I'm gonna squat, bench, deadlift, do some weighted chins, some triceps, little delts, call it a day. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wind it down. So let me shut down the Facebook first. But yeah. Yep, I'm doing full body. Yep. It's gonna be squat, bench, deadlift, and weighted chins, man. It's gonna be the name of the game. So yeah, take care. We're out of here, guys. And so you'll get a vlog up here later. And I'll try to do an afternoon for you guys, and we're out. Oh, you want to buy some shot? All right. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. They're all out. Like, I'm just going to AMRAP my top sets. All right. So top sets, Felix, I'm going to put 405 on the high bar squat, take it close to failure. I'm going to try to AMRAP 315 on the bench. Then I'm going to throw 225 on and see if I can get to my 20. I'll probably AMRAP 500 on the deadlift. Weighted chins, I'll do a couple sets to failure with a 45-pound plate. And that'll be my main workout. I'll probably do a set of reverse hypers, some laterals, set of 6 extensions close to failure. So extensions, I usually put a 45 on each side of the easy curl bar and just rep it out. I usually do about 15, 16 reps. So yeah, that's a normal day for me, man. Less than a month from my 49th birthday. You know, where I make the joke as a Christian. The power of Christ compels me. I can do anything through Jesus Christ, including getting that 20 rep bench press. All right. Now, but all right, we're out, man. I'll catch you guys here later.